it is. A guy named Derek to Pomp and Joe. I think you guys are overhyping this team. Happy they're winning, but it's just rinse and repeat of the last decade. Beat bad teams, get stomped by good teams, make playoffs, get outclassed by the better team. 4 wins are nice, but those 2 losses say way more. He might be right in the end, Bob, but can we enjoy this for a day or not?
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to think about because a lot of people do it. Regardless of the sport, you're looking for dramatic entertainment every single down. It doesn't happen. There's going to be back and forth. And that's not to say you can't say it's boring. There is some boring offense going on. A lot of the times with them, especially in the first half, it doesn't seem to work out. But they're in most games. Fourth quarters when you want to see things pop, and they have popped over there.
Can we enjoy this win today?
But I'll tell you what.
Can we? Should we?
You should.
Should they?
If you're a fan, sure, you should. There are concerns. There's always concerns. You got to get better at a lot of it. But they won a game. Ultimately, you want to win a game. I think the people there in L.A. were very happy that they won the game and how they won the game especially.
I'm not sure what this man means by us overhyping them.
If he's talking about playoff success, he might be right. They may get to a point of getting knocked out early. I don't know.
But what's that got to do with being wildly entertained yesterday in L.A. with half the place Steeler fans? They come back, they light up. Can we feel good for Canada for a day too, and give him credit?
Yes, of course, I think so.
Why not?
I think you have to be fair with that. He's the offensive coordinator. He's taken a lot of abuse. He hasn't barked back too much. They came alive in the fourth quarter. You could argue it was him, Kenny, but if you're going to use that same argument, apply it to the first quarter as well. If you're just going to blame Canada and no blame for Kenny Pickett, that's wrong too. It's a shared blame. Whatever the case may be, as I said, Chris Hoke showed me videos of guys that were open, running in the first and second quarter that he wasn't looking.
Folsey, you're a Steeler fan. Are you enjoying today, or is it all sort of tainted is the best word I can think of, tainted by the idea that, wow, still can't imagine this team in the Super Bowl or beating the Chiefs. Who cares for today would be my response.
Well, I do agree largely with what that guy said in his tweet about how, all of those things are very much still on the table. If the Steelers still aren't a real playoff contender and they could get, beat in the first round once again, it could be a repeat of what we've seen over the last couple seasons. But don't you want to enjoy the ride? And as far as, don't you want to watch games here down the stretch in which there's a playoff spot on the line?
This year, for sure.
Rather than watching a team that's 3 or 4 games under 500.
I thought yesterday was encouraging on top of that. Like I said, it was the first time that I looked at a Steeler offense under Matt Canada since he got here, or under Kenny Pickett since he became the starter. And I said, wow, they look legitimately explosive in this fourth quarter. He's got his receivers back. Deontay made a huge difference. So maybe it's encouraging, but also with Canada, he's taken so much heat.
Yeah.
Fine, all that's good. But I can feel good for him for a day.
Right.
Why not? He did a good job.
His success is the Steelers' success, which you ultimately want. Right?
I think so,
And
yes.
there's always that underlying evaluation every single game of Kenny Pickett, of trying to figure out if this guy is for real, if he's really going to be the franchise quarterback.
If I'm just analyzing what he does in the fourth quarter, it tells me he has that moxie to do that. But that's when a lot of guys go the other way. He's not. He's for whatever reason, picking it up, raising that level of competitiveness to a level that not many have in the fourth quarter, quite frankly. So he needs to do that earlier in games. They all do. It has to be a more concerted effort to score early and make things a little easier. Because sooner or later, you can't do this every single week, can you? And if you do, you're going to be legendary.
Going back to Matt Canada real quickly, I can't necessarily talk down or criticize the pessimists out there that think the way that we were
but they
talking
overdo
about.
it. Don't you think they overdo it?
I would call myself one. And I'm trying to put myself back into my fan shoes when I was rooting for the Bills a long time ago. And I would classify myself as a pessimist, but then the question becomes, do I let my pessimism ruin everything?
Ruin
like
the moment?
I'm done? I'm going to burn my Steelers stuff, my Bills stuff? Or can I still enjoy a really entertaining, fun game where Pickett played great in the fourth quarter and they beat a decent team on the road? That was fun.
I think a lot of the pessimism from people is linked to one guy. and that's Matt Canada. Like, I think at the end of the day,
See, I think for a lot of people, it's linked to Tomlin, too.
Maybe, yeah, there's a lot of that as well. But I think for the majority of it is people don't believe that Matt Canada is ever going to give a representative offense week to week, and they're ever going to win big with Matt Canada as the offensive coordinator. I don't know if I can blame him for thinking
Did you wake up? Me neither. But
because I still think that way.
Yeah, right. But did you wake up today and you were happy as a Steeler fan,
Yes.
Folsey? Did you go to bed happy?
Yes, I went to bed satisfied. I was
Right,
like,
things
all right,
were
that's
fun.
a win.
A fun night. That's
Yeah.
all.
24/7.
Can you live in that for a day and go back to the Canada stuff tomorrow?
Sure.
That's an honest question.
I think so, but there's also still that big picture question of,
Sure.
yeah, this team probably isn't one of the best in the league.
I get it. I really do, honestly. And if these were the Bills and this was a young quarterback for them, not Jim Kelly, but of Pickett-like pedigree back in the early 90s, I think I'd be feeling like today, wow, that was pretty hopeful. I'm looking forward to this Jacksonville game to see if they can carry it into this game. I feel good. That was a happy day. All those Steeler fans in L.A., I was wildly entertained. The Steelers won. I think I'd be feeling happy.
And you should. And you should look at the fact that there are 3 games coming up that could put them at a 6-3, I hope a worse situation. You're 6-3 through 9 games. You set yourself up for a second-half run to be in the hunt.